Hi, my name's Dave Caldwell. I've been with AM General for over 50 years.
My name is Preston Cheney. I'm a retiree from AM General.
My name is Glenda Williams. I've been with AM General for 37 years.
I'm Gary Wuslich, former Vice President, Human Resources.
I'm Jill Varga. I worked for AM General for 42 years in the Employee Relations Office.
My name is Joe Taylor III, and I worked at AM General for 23 years.
My name is Peter Waite. I was a manufacturing manager at AM General for over 40 years.
I'm Wilbur Boggs. I retired from AM General in 2011 after 35 years.
My name is Ophelia Gooden. I started at AM General October 26, 1973.
My name is Larry Rink, and I retired from AM General in September of 2019.
From the time I started at AM General to the time I retired, a lot of things changed. Clearly, when I started, I had an electric typewriter on my desk.
There were no computers. Everything was handwritten. Everything was drawn by hand on the board. It took 20 people to do what now takes 2 to complete the same product.
Well, AM General's been around a long time, just under a different name. Studebaker, Kaiser.
American Motors bought Jeep from Kaiser in the 1970s, and they renamed the company AM General. When I first started with the company, I started working on post office vehicles. They were little smaller vehicles with sliding doors on them, and AM General built about a little less than 250,000 of those. I also worked on, when I hired in, I was working on the M715. It was a 3/4 ton military utility truck and an ambulance, the M715. We built actual city transit buses. We were building about, I think, 10 a day for all over the United States. AM General and MAN built the articulated buses in a plant out of down in Texas. So AM General has done a lot of commercial work other than the military trucks that everybody's familiar with.
There is a heritage here of knowing how to build vehicles.
You worked as a team, you worked hard to get things done, and then the reward was you had a product that was superior to any other.
I think our products had such an impact on the U.S. and Allied forces in the fact that the Humvee platform is so adaptable that you can basically configure it to be anything that the soldier needs.
It's changed over the years from a light support utility vehicle to today it's actually, an up-armored vehicle that the Army relies on.
One of my most enjoyable things about the Humvee was my niece. She served in Desert Storm, and she had a chance to drive a Humvee. And she called me right away and said, Auntie, I had a chance to drive that truck that you was talking about. And we have several of them here, and it does everything you say it does.
I've always been a mentor to young African American males here in the community, and to be able to have Adair Fritz to allow me to bring those young men into the plant for tours, the oohs and the ahs that we would see as we went down the line and they watched the building of the Humvee are stories that are still being told today. And even some of those young men went on to begin working at the H2 plant when General Motors came in and set up the H2 plant for building the commercial Hummer.
When we first built the Hummer H1, I brought one vehicle home, and some longtime veterans stood up and saluted as I drove by.
I always found my work here fulfilling and gratifying in the fact that there's no greater purpose than to have an ultimate customer that we work for, and that's the warfighter.
One of the best things that ever happened in that program or at AM General, in my eyes, was the day that the first troops came home from the Gulf War, and they were bused right to the plant where we were able to receive their families and congratulate them on being home.
I would say one of my biggest memories that stand out is when we partnered with GM, when AM General partnered with GM to produce the H2.
We had this iconic, military vehicle that was awesome, but then we transitioned over into pop culture. The rappers were purchasing them and riding around in the athletes. It was just, they were in commercials. That memory really stands out because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the person that got us actually into the commercial business. And I actually got to meet him at the military plant. He was in the facility.
And the interesting part of that tour with Arnold Schwarzenegger is I looked over at him as I was walking along beside him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm only 5'11", and I was thinking he was going to be about 6'3", 6'4", and to my chagrin, Arnold wasn't as tall as me.
I think one of my biggest memories is when I started on June 26, 1978, my son was born the very next day. So that's a memory that's going to sit with me. And also helped me keep track of how many years I've been here.
I also was a single parent at the time that I came to South Bend, and my goal was to just be employed for long enough to get the last girl out of high school. AM General gave me that. AM General has given me more than probably I asked for when I came to South Bend or took the job.
We should also be proud that we have come so far as it relates to women in the organization and management and director and executive level positions.
At one time when we were there were no women forklift drivers. There were no women inspectors. As time went on, then some of the guys, they took us up under their wings and they taught us how to drive the forklifts and how to inspect, and then we moved forward.
Diversity and inclusion is a big deal here at AM General.
One of my uncles let me know that, hey, if you don't want to attend college, when I graduated from Riley High School here in South Bend, why don't you look at applying at AM General and seeing how you like that, and maybe you might want to go back to school a little later. I did eventually go back to college to IU South Bend, but it was to get my minor in labor studies. That was a great opportunity, and it was also affordable because we had language in our contract, that tuition reimbursement language. And so that's just, again, one of the benefits that the union and the company saw fit for as employees, for those who wanted to further their education.
To the employees that are at AM General today and those who have retired, I say to you, we all can be proud of the heritage of the organization.
Respect your fellow workers and support your fellow workers, whether you're on the management side or the union side. I think you all need to continue to work together to find innovative solutions to keep AM General the strong company that it has been and hopefully will be in the future.
Put everything you have into what you develop, because if it goes wrong, they don't have time out in the field to figure out what it is that you put together. So make sure that everything you do, you keep that warfighter in mind as your ultimate customer.
At AM General, you'll get a lot of broad experience and knowledge over your career here.
Try to enjoy yourself while you're at work. When I worked there, we had fun.
Keep up the great work.
And keep up the good work, AM General, so that we can celebrate another 50-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary to myself and AM General for the 50th anniversary coming up.